evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Barnabo Stadium on the beautiful campus of Romeo High School for tonight's NISA soccer match featuring the visiting the Los Angeles Force and your Michigan Stars. Officials for tonight's soccer match as assigned by NISA. The head referee is Katie Crosby. Assistant referee number 1, Audra Fuller. Assistant referee number 2, Kenny Nunez. And the fourth official, Przemysław Chris Kasuski. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise. Gentlemen, please remove your caps. Active duty and veterans may leave their caps on while rendering the military salute as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Game of the day here at Romeo High School at Barnabo Field. Albion San Diego picked off Gold Star earlier in the day, 1-0, the goal coming from a former Michigan Star in Cyrus Tran. Now we'll see if LA Force can take out the defending champion Michigan Stars. Welcome in all, and happy Friday to you. Mason Lowry and Chris Black, great to have you here. Michigan Stars, Chris, having to do something that they have not done all season long in league play, and that's bounce back.
Yeah, it's the question. How do they respond? A little bit of tough weather here, pushed back just a little bit. But how do they bounce back from that loss? Can they galvanize something together, get the team together, get back on the right side? The good news for them, though, is they're only dealing with one loss in a row. So they only have one to get off the slide from. So it's a team that has a lot of games in hand as well. So you look at their points here so far this season, sitting on 15 points. They have 4 games in hand over the first place Chattanooga, so they've got a lot of time to right that ship if they need to, and so far they want to get that done today, get back on the right side of the ledger.
Chattanooga just beat Michigan Stars 2-0 down in Tennessee. Stars were down 2-0 at halftime. Jean-Antoine then saved a penalty in the second half, so the Stars going down to defeat for the first time in league play. LA Force, a really positive start to the season. They've already picked up as many points as they did all of last year. They won just 2 of the 20 games that ended up counting in the final standings last season. This year, 4, 2, and 3. But a 3-0 loss at Chattanooga on July 1st, and then a 2-0 loss at Albion San Diego on the 8th. Has them trying to fight back as well. And they've had to make 5 changes from their last match. LA Force has Gomez, Villatoro, Plasencia, Hernandez, and Francis Avos, who's only just signed for them and making his debut, is going to start up top. He's a big unit at 6'5". Luckily, well, the Michigan Stars, they're known for nothing if not their physicality.
Yeah, and back-to-back losses for LA Force coming in. Maybe those changes are what they need to try to get on the other side of that score sheet. But difficult opponents, too, that they played. That they played the number 1 team, number 2 teams right now in the rankings. But, again, a lot of games in hand as well. So they've got some time to right the ship. But the question with them is going to be, how do those new players do today? And how do they do going forward? And is this a positive step with some changes today? And as this team tries to get really back in, right now, number 6, they've got a good distance between them and Gold Star, but Gold Star has a lot of games to make up as well.
Just a reminder, folks, there is a concession.
The first of 3 this year between these two teams. They'll be back here in Metro Detroit on the final day of the regular season on the 14th. They'll play in California on August 17th. Michigan Stars in white, Tatenda Makruva, the captain, in orange. LA Force, they've just broken their huddle wearing jet black. And Hugo Gomez, their goalkeeper, back at the side after sitting out against Albion San Diego. It's the only match that he has missed so far this year. And off we go. Here in Romeo, after a brief 24-minute lightning delay, there was nasty weather throughout southeast Michigan earlier in the day that pushed us back just a little bit. The long ball from Makruva runs out of play. So Makruva in goal with Yakov Shmelev, Robert Yunchai, Kotero, Umeda, Leon Marich, the Stars' leading scorer. He's found the back of the net 3 times this season. Andres Shalbad, Hunter Olsen, Garrett Hogbin, and Artem Baranovsky, the center back duo, with Ezra Brown and Anthony Bowie. And that's Bowie just being dispossessed. And Leon Marich putting the pressure on. Gomez hooks away. They'll do that, Michigan Stars. They will put pressure on the goalkeeper and the back line and try and force you into mistakes. And, of course, everything in the attacking sense is going to run through the big fella, the big number 9, Leon Marich. Big, physical, highly skilled, good goal scorer. That's Baranovsky, the veteran from the Ukraine. Yikes, that is a complete shank. Almost a total miss hit by Tatenda Makruva, and LA Force gifted in early quarter.
And so often the strength of Makruva is often with his feet, so that's a little bit of a source of worry. But pre-game or early game jitters maybe, and as well as maybe just a little bit of a wet pitch. But we're quite used to seeing him really advance up in the field of play during games using his feet.
Leopoldo Plasencia on corner duty. That's put off the underside of the crossbar by the captain, Deco Kainan. Chance to get it back in from Edwin Rivas Jr., who has 4 assists on the year. Kainan flicks it on. And the offside flag is up by the AR on the near side. So disaster averted in the opening minutes for Michigan Stars.
Doesn't like a little bit of pressure to start the game for the goalkeeper. Don't really let him settle in. It's called back for the offside, so just a little restart right here. Probably nice to take a little bit of a breath and let the game come slowly to him next time.
The LA Force team, Gomez in goal, Eric Villatoro, Gonzalo Salguero, Leopoldo Plasencia, who put that corner in, Alex Suarez, Deco Kainan, who has had a very interesting and very long career to this point. More on that as the evening goes along. Eden Hernandez, Ivan Hernandez, Edwin Rivas Jr., Clayton Torr, and Francis Avos making his debut for LA Force, and that means they have used now 27 different players throughout NISA play this season. That's Salguero running that down. 24 is Eden Hernandez. His first professional season, having graduated from the University of Montevallo. It's a D2 college down to the Peach Belt Conference. And 12 assists the last 2 years for them. So we're 2 teams that last year were difficult to score on when they played here in Southeast Michigan, ended goalless. Kainan's header away. Makruva. Boy, that's another poor touch from him. He's done that twice now in the early going. Ezra Brown with a missed kick as well. It's contagious, Chris.
Yeah, you don't want to catch that. Stay a little bit away from that area of the field. There's so much that the game and goal is mental anyways. That self-belief, but not quite too much self-belief. Like that fine line of being ready to be the hero, but not searching out to be it.
That's Villatoro on the right flank. Plasencia for Clayton Torr, who played every game for LA Force last year. It's Yakov Shmelev, the right back, going to ground. Coached this year, LA Force, by Matt Morse, also the director of NISA Nation and the NISA Independent Cup. So he's about to become a very busy guy. Independent Cup Regional Championship matches coming up very, very soon. Michigan Stars will host theirs on the 23rd. There's Rivas, who's awfully dangerous, whipping balls in from wide on the left, and that's hit just a little bit hard. Makruva will get to that one easily. Here's Garrett Hogbin, one of NISA's best 11 at the back last year, playing for Cal United Strikers. We're taking a season away. That's Hunter Olsen knocking that ahead for Robert Yunchai, who's offside. Hunter Olsen, in his first professional season, he has now scored in back-to-back matches for the Stars. Back-to-back matches in which the Stars have scored anyway. They obviously were held 2-0 at Chattanooga, but scored out west at Albion. Scored the winner against Savannah Clovers on that road trip. Yunchai there was able to keep it in, but gave possession back to Salguero. Nothing Marich could really do with that in the box. Here comes Rivas. But this is going to come back for a free kick much further back down the pitch. I'm not sure what for, because the break was on for LA Force. Doesn't seem to be a whole lot of complaining about it.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the oddities. Maybe there's a whistle we couldn't hear ahead of time, maybe, or something to that effect, because you would have thought for sure they want that break. That opportunity advantage would have been in play there.
Hogbin marshalling that to Makruva. Lets it run behind for a goal kick. He could really use a comfortable, confident routine touch after the last couple.
Yeah, he could. This is the time when LA Force want to put a little bit extra pressure on him when he receives the ball at his feet, make him keep thinking. He's such a dangerous weapon, restarting the attack or being someone that you can release pressure into. You want to make sure he's in the game mentally.
Marich with a miscue there also that led to that little chance for LA Force to knock a ball through. Here's Kitaro Umeda, well behind Shalbot, who's up in that advanced left wing position. Ezra Brown playing behind him at left back, with Jacob Campbell, who was the regular last year, still nursing an injury. Villatoro. Finding Clayton Torr. Salguero had the space closed down by Hunter Olsen. Good little turn from Plasencia. Rivas was running ahead on the left, had to check his run back. He'll receive it now. There's the cross, looking for Avos. The header won by Baranovsky. It's a good aerial win by Ivan Hernandez. It's funny how the really tall guys like Leon Marich at 6'5", they so rarely have to leave their feet to win anything.
Yeah, a little bit of elevation advantage, that vertical gift. Allows them a lot more power and a lot more balance, as well as a restart, too. Be able to play through something instead of launching themselves out to win something first.
Well, they don't have to leave their feet, so they don't, and sometimes they lose out because of it. LA Force, boy, would have thought that was their throw-in. And Francis Avos, the new man for them, is making his case to the AR. Seem to remember both games between these teams last year being played at kind of a similar pace. And I should correct myself. When the Force and the Stars played out in California, it was a 0-0. Stars got a very late 1-0 win here. That was over at the Michigan Stars Sports Complex on the turf out there. That was the late Jacob Campbell cross for the Stephen Elias header. Eke out a 1-0. Given right up to Umeda. Trying to slide that in for Robert Yunchai. Just missed the mark. Only one chance so far, an early corner from LA Force that Dekel Kainan put off the underside of the crossbar. Maybe Villatoro can get a ball in. He can. That's a lovely flick, and it goes just wide. So that's two good opportunities the first 11 minutes from LA Force. That was Edwin Rivas.
Yeah, McCrew may have been able to make it just in time, but either way, it's a lot more pressure on their goal, and they're expecting that quick. Nice redirect. Had to go quick, and he did. Not surprisingly, maybe a little extra time before this ball gets back in play. Kind of calm down a little bit. LA Force pushing pressure up on top of the 18 until they feel like this is going to be a direct play, long ball. And really, you can tell the sun is bothering him a little bit as well. Keeps shielding his eyes. It's at that level right now that just is a little bit of a problem for about 10 more minutes.
Yeah, it's just kind of obnoxious.
Yeah, and it'll drop then.
That will run all the way through, and Gomez bashes away. Umeda for Anthony Bowie. Scored the winning goal, of course, in last year's NISA Championship against Albion San Diego. And I don't know how LA Force allowed Andres Shelba to get into an onside position. Well, he crosses that for Marich, who buries it, but he was offside. Either way, it's a huge let-off from the Force. How in the world did Shalbad get into that spot completely unmarked?
Marich's movement up top has been very interesting so far. I saw him earlier when the ball came to the left side. He started to float to the right side, and Robert Unchai came inside centrally. So I don't know if his movement up top is just drawing that back line apart a little bit. If that's something planned they're trying to do, you got to be careful. You don't want to run him into the ground as well, because you need that target out there all game long. But, man, that's all you can really think about is someone was so worried about Marich. They pulled open a little bit too much. Hunter Olsen was able to make that run forward up for the central midfield spot. And, of course, he's in an attacking role more for a starting point. But, yeah, very surprising.
That's a risky chest down to Makruva as well.
Yeah, something we really expect, though, when he's feeling it. You know he's real comfortable with his feet, real comfortable with things going around him. That's not a surprise then. But you would have thought maybe a little bit more plain for the next 10, 15 minutes after a rocky start.
It does take a lot to knock his confidence and self-belief. You and I were having that conversation on the drive up here, the importance of having a goalkeeper who really isn't bothered by much.
That's right, short memory. Short memory, and it's a game's a game. They love it. They thrive out. You really level out between those highs and those lows, the things that happen during a game, so you can bounce back, but also not that get those adrenaline kind of pushing you up too high with endorphins and whatnot, and then be able to protect yourself from bodying out at some point.
Hernandez threading that through for Villatoro. He's onside, and a good stop by Makruva. He tried to send that to the near post, put behind for a corner.
Yeah, tough thing with the near post right there is obviously Makruva's coming over anyways. Yeah, it's shorter distance to the goal, but if you miss near, no one can do anything with it. Maybe on the wide side, you've got a chance if there's a deflection, someone else can be on it. because at that point, Makruva does knock that out near post. If he knocks that out far or knocks that to the far post, you might have someone running onto that ball.
Well, Rivas can certainly whip a good ball into the box, and you have to keep an eye on the 38-year-old captain, Dako Kanon, who's already nearly scored from a corner. He's trying to wriggle away from Leon Marich. I think he was the target of that. Hit a little too deep, off of whom? LA Force. It's a goal kick. 15 minutes gone, 0-0. Michigan Stars have had a goal disallowed for offside. LA Force have had 2 or 3 really good opportunities. Hit the bar, they've gone just wide. Makruva moments ago forced into a save. Should be noted that Michigan Stars, without a couple of really talented attacking players, Nash Popovich and Noah Robinson. So it's kind of a makeshift forward line. It's Marich and then really whoever else is around in the moment. Hunter Olsen, Robert Yunchai. You can maybe see the teenager Nick Nicola come off the bench in the second half and give them a little added injection of pace and height. Aaron Hernandez, the highest player up the pitch there for LA Force. Umeda has had a good start to life as a Michigan Star. Born in Tokyo, moved to the U.S. at age 6, went to high school in Ohio at Mayfield Heights, played at Louisville and Akron collegiately, and he has slotted into the midfield really, really nicely. Won that in the air. Good win back by the Stars. Shalba, though, forced to go backwards. Rivas applying the pressure. Ooh, that touch was a little awkward from Makruva. I think it's taken out by Rivas.
I mean, he's crafty enough. You wonder if that was on purpose so he'd get a foul there. He's just crafty. You have to be thinking that. And he's confident enough.
If that's the case, it was just crazy enough to work.
Yeah, that's right. And confident enough to think he's going to be able to shield him off as well at the same time. Force still pushed up a little high, but they're starting to retreat back a little bit. We see the extra time, so they are going to go a little bit of route one.
Big line drive. Header pop straight up into the air. Tor wins that to Shalbot. But that's all Hugo Gomez. Now in his 4th year with LA Force, making his 56th appearance for the club. Umeda over to pick that up. Nice little touch into space. Tried to slot it through for Olsen. Avos won the initial ball. Does it kind of feel like there's a mistake in this, Chris, for either or possibly both teams?
Well, there have been so far, and neither have capitalized on it. I think it was the mistake and a great build-up, and I guess it would be quick build-up after a turnover by Michigan Stars and good running out the ball to get Marich. And the mistake was he was just offside. And then on the other side of it earlier, Tatenda Makruva having a hard time getting into the game with some clean touches early, but he's settled down now a little bit. But both teams seem to have been playing it safe but getting opportunities out of it anyways. A little extra time on the ball right here, pulling LA Force players in, but at the same point, Stars still have to move that ball away. And almost a turnover right there in the middle of the field. And now there it is.
It's tough to knock Edwin Rivas Jr. off the ball. Big and barrel-chested and really can play anywhere. He Starts out wide, is great at whipping balls in, but right now he's much more central. The Stars again trying to pen in LA Force. Shalbot with a little nod backwards. Dealt with better by Makruva that time. Olsen steadied that. Given away, though. And Rivas is fouled by Hunter Olsen. Didn't feel great. Jamie Crosby, the man in the middle today. Audra Fullen and Kenny Nunez, the two assistant referees. Przemysław Przuski, the fourth official. I suspected you were going to put me on the spot and ask me how to say his name, and I thought I'd
got out of the way
punch.
early. That's smart. That's smart. Get there early. So you're
Don't
not asked.
give him the satisfaction.
But that's the fourth official. Always that role that starts out slow, and at some point toward the game to get more action than the center of than the ARs do.
Oh, that's Villatoro again getting into a dangerous position. He's won a corner. I think Makruva knocked that off of the LA Force right back.
And I think that's what Makruva was trying to plead for. Some sort of a handling call there off the arm. Either before or after he pushed the ball out of bounds. Set up to go short this time instead of trying to find somebody.
Rivas with a deep corner. Salguero knocked that back across. His second cross is blocked. Blocked again. And Michigan Stars can knock this away with Umeda. And put right out of play by Robert Yunchai. But you saw the same thing that I did, which was a wide open Hunter Olsen streaking up the middle of the pitch.
Yeah, I think that they found Marich. If Marich could have got that back clean and Yunchai has a second or two. Long diagonal ball. Puts in another chance for Michigan Stars.
Tour didn't get the weight on that quite right. Midway through the first half here at Barnabo Field in Romeo, Michigan. Nice's match of the week on 11 Sports. Goalless between Michigan Stars and LA Force. Mason Lowry, Chris Black. Nice to have you here on this Friday night. It's become a pretty nice Friday night after the absolutely miserable weather we had earlier in the day. Here's Francis Avos. Played collegiately at Loyola Marymount and then has had professional stints in Cyprus and Malta. Left-footed cross, knocked behind for another corner. Clearly a team that's dangerous on set pieces.
The Stars have been giving a lot of chances. This one, they're going to show short again, but that may just be again to try to drag somebody off.
Rivas is in the box this time.
Try to clip ball this time. Prior on the near side, it was a left foot in swing. They just went a little bit long. And this one, they try to right foot clip that ball, try to get the drop. Drop off the back corner of the six, but as you can see, that carried. Seemed to get a lot better opportunities when really it was more a poignant ball being sent in. The Canaan was the target so often on those, and be interesting to see if they go back to it or just keep trying different things. And for as many times as they've shown short, it's sometime they're going to have to go short. The Stars are going to definitely stop believing them.
Bounces out in front of Garrett Hogbin. Now he advances forward. Yeah, Michigan Stars, they're always happy to let either center back carry the ball 20, 30 yards up ahead. Didn't really work there.
Yeah, Hernandez actually just pushing him that way, not giving him that cross. That's where the space was, but just ran out of it after a little bit. Going to have to really transition, just taking a little bit of space and then trying to play out of it.
So far, credit LA Force. They've given the Stars essentially nothing to work with.
Yeah, Stars are moving the ball pretty well, but Force really isn't getting pulled out of shape. So that's what you have to look at is how can you pull them out of shape? I mean, it helps having a veteran on that back line, obviously an organizing type at this point in his career. Even if his legs can't do it, he's going to have the mind to set someone else at it.
Deco Kainan, in terms of what he's done and where he's been in the game, has to be near the top of the pile in Nice's history. Champions League veteran and UEFA Cup veteran and 2 spells with Maccabi Haifa. 14 years with his boyhood club. They're also part of Blackpool's Premier League side in 2010-2011. Made 6 appearances for the Tangerines. Also time at Cardiff and a handful of USL clubs, including FC Cincinnati when they were still in USL Championship. Long throw in from Anthony Bowie. To defensive header across the box. Love that from Shmelev. Goes to the back post. It's knotted down and in. Well, that all started with Shmelev. That brilliant bicycle back across the 6-yard box. And it's Garrett Hogbin knotting it home. The Stars take the lead.
Stars had great size at that back part of the goal, as you could see. And really, before Hogbin got it, Marich got pushed. And he was asking for it right there. He got pushed, which created the space for Hogbin to come up in behind and win that ball. I think that little extra physicality of LA Force actually came back to haunt them a little bit. But you know you've got to do something to Marich to try to keep him from running free. But well done by Hogbin stepping into it then, taking that space, putting the ball then to the back, the far post of the net.
First goal as a Michigan
from Anthony
Star
Bowie.
for Garrett Hogbin. Here's another look.
To
Watch
defensive
this.
header
That's
across the
terrific.
box. Love that from
Presence of
Shmelev.
mind
Goes
for
to the
Shmelev
back
and then
post.
knotted down
It's
off
knotted
the
down
forehead
and
of
in.
Garrett Hogbin. Hugo Gomez was totally stranded, and Michigan Stars have a 1-0 lead.
Marich had just started to raise his hand up, probably trying to ask for a foul. Which it would have been.
And then, never mind.
Yeah, it would have been pretty innocuous if they would have called it on that anyways, but wasn't egregious.
That Hogbin header not quite as effective as the last one. Just sideways over towards Andres Schalbot. Here comes Hunter Olsen, and the Stars may be building up ahead of steam now. Ezra Brown keeping it alive for the Stars. Shmelev wide on the right. Can he keep this in play? He can. Chance for the crosses may be gone. He'll try it on the left foot now. That's blocked. Right back to him. Could have let it go out for a throw-in. Sure the Stars wouldn't complain about another long throw. Here's Bowie sending that to the near post and covered up by Gomez. Nearly 2 in 2 minutes.
Yeah, what a turn by Bowie. A little off balance, though, when he got that ball played off. But part of that, too, though, I think Marich had come back. Players had come back, so kind of the buildup was going a little bit too slow, so Marich had come back and wasn't able to press. So Bowie went for the goal, as you would at that point. He already made the turn, was committed to going forward, make the best of it.
Yeah, that was allowed to run over the line. And I would think Anthony Bowie will come up for another long throw in here. If not Bowie, maybe Shmelev. You've got guys that can do that. It's every bit as good as a free kick. It's a lovely ball. Shmelev to Bowie. No chance for a shot. Has to circle the wagons. Here's Umeda. Difficult angle. Umeda with a shot just over the bar.
Michigan Stars' first goal of the evening, scored by number 22, Garrett Hogman. Assist by
They're probing for a second. They've come close now twice.
goal scored in the 27th minute.
We've seen some personnel movement that's a little bit different than prior in the game, so you don't know if that's a tactical switch. Saw the coaching staff, a lot of interaction after the goal to look at maybe a changeup of what they're doing. And since that goal, you've seen opportunity after opportunity and some mismatches in placement, and personnel in the field have really given great opportunities.
Can Rivas and company create an opportunity for the Force? Viatoro wide. Had a shot saved by Makruva earlier in the half. And that's sent right out of play. That's an attempted cross that has a really high degree of difficulty.
Yeah, really just playing the ball in up high like that. You're imagining probably you're going to need the player receiving that ball is going to need to take a touch, get that ball down towards the ground, maybe get in the goal. Instead, tried to go for a one-timer. And as you can see, it was not successful.
Poor goal kick, too. Looked like one of my drives, I'm sorry to say.
No,
Especially
that was
this
straight.
year, I've been struggling.
That was straight.
Straight, but short and very low. That's me, all right.
Hernandez is the one that's probably upset with that. I mean, yeah, I was right at him, wasn't really ready for it, but he's got to knock that ball down and get forward. Either touch it forward right away for someone else to get onto it or take that space, take that touch.
Nice little 1-2 with Marich and Bowie tried to play the return ball. And couldn't find the mark. Sliced away by Gomez. Brown trying to run it down. Torque keeps it in for the Force. And that's off of Francis Avos. Went down kind of awkwardly, but gets up okay.
That's such a nice job by Hogman, absorbing that pressure physically. Forcing the play to go out of bounds without even taking a touch.
Bowie, great touch forward, keeps his run going, swept into his path by Yunchai. Feels like the second goal is coming, and it may not be too long before it's here.
Yeah, it sure does. And Marich held his last run a little bit wider as he should, waiting for a touch on if Bowie gets to it. Bowie just wasn't able to.
Umeda. That was too central. Olsen was up there. I feel like what LA Force needs right now is some sustained possession because they haven't had that in a while. If you're giving the ball up recklessly to the Stars and doing it all the time, they're going to be made to pay for that.
Yeah, sustained possession, or when the Stars are pushing up, see just a
that won't do.
Yeah, slightly forced error, we'll call it, 'cause at least there was some pressure by Shmelov over there. But something like taking either if there's space, knock it around, sustain possession, or when the Stars do push that back line up, once they start to tighten it up, at that point maybe a couple diagonal direct balls just to try to get that space back, let someone run at it. Makruva hasn't been that successful today with his feet. He really hasn't hurt them yet. You also don't want him to get it going either.
Well, LA Force player here is onside, trying to twist and turn and get a shot away. Chance for Avos. That took a deflection, I think, and it's easy enough for Makruva to stay in front of.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was looking for right there. Back line was a little bit out of sorts. One player a little bit deeper, able to play a ball and a little more direct, a little bit in behind. I was more envisioning when it was higher up the field doing that, but apply some pressure on that back line a little bit. Because if a team is playing a high back line against you and allowed to pressure you as much as Stars have been, really the only way to get them to back off and gain a little bit of space to play underneath, again, that's definitely unforced error, to gain space underneath is to get them to press that line back. And all we can do that is show them at least you're willing to go over the top, or at least find those strikers early with a hard enough, quick enough ball that they're able to be just against that back line. Only one line to beat.
Yunchak couldn't quite head that on, and that's a little wide of Marich. Not where he wanted that ball to be placed. Here's Tor up the flank. Ezra Brown did well. Just to hang with him.
Yeah, took some deeper options away from him. Forced the mistake to be made.
That's Hogman. For Olsen. Bowie. Well played for Shmelev. 3 to Amat in the box. And 4 and 5 now. Blocked behind for a corner. Came off of Gonzalo Salguero. I always feel like it's fitting when a Yunchai takes a set piece for the Michigan Stars. It was Steven for so long. He's now playing in Slovenia. His younger brother, Robert, when he does play, is almost always on corner duty. Well, they've already got one from a set play tonight. It's a decent delivery. Hogben heads it across, but a foul against the home team.
Yeah, so often you see it's the older brother excels at something, and then if it's finishing, it usually means the younger brother's the goalie. Because it made him play in goal all the time. Or maybe set pieces, maybe it probably made him hit the balls back to him or something in the backyard or front yard. So they, over time, just building, getting better and better. Yeah, Forster just trying to get a little bit of space on the far side of the field opened up. It just seemed like it took a long time. They've been calling for it, trying to maneuver it. At the end, this right back to where they came from, just 20 yards up the field. See if they can hold it.
Forced backwards again to Placencia.
If we were overseas, it'd be whistling by now.
It'd be an Olay on every completed pass. Juarez.
Didn't work out, so back where they started. Ooh. That wasn't very far off of a ball that Marich wants to pick. I mean, if you're the Stars, you don't want Marich chasing the ball.
No, you want him where he is.
Yep, just delay and make it a little bit difficult for them to cross the ball. Don't chase. Wait for that moment when something may really, really happen. There you go. Got turned all the way back to the keeper, who at this point might be trying to get on the end of a ball. 40 yards up the pitch already.
If you're the Stars, you really don't mind this.
No, it's really just about staying in the moment, keeping your shape, keeping everything in front. Don't let anyone get free. I mean, 1-0 certainly isn't insurmountable, but it's a more comfortable place to be than 0-1 down.
It's a place where Michigan Stars are often enough. They rarely score a lot of goals. They don't really blow teams out, but they do grind them down.
I see you see Marich work right there. He thought he had a chance. You want him just arrested a little bit again.
Juarez inching forward. Tor is out of the touch line. again they have to go backwards.
Yeah, and at this point, that sustained pressing up is really just compressed into a block, this Michigan Stars team.
Shot from a long way out. That stings the hands of Tatenda Makruva. Well, it did lead to a shot on target. But really, after all that possession, you'd rather not have to settle for a shot from, 25 yards?
Yeah, you can get a shot from distance with a lot less work. And you certainly don't want to try to go near post. That's really twice they've tried to go near post with really nothing of it.
Ezra Brown up there this time for the Stars. Made initial contact and then Tor boots it away.
It's really seemed that they've advanced Brown in the game since that first goal. Trying to get in those type of situations, get end of a ball. Shalbad really taking more of the defensive responsibility for that left flank.
Cross from the left, allowed to come all the way through, and boy, Shalbad puts it behind for a corner. Viatoro was the runner there.
Some frustration from the LA Force bench yelling about the types of run that would have taken to get a goal right there. Probably some questions on maybe the work rate.
Yeah, the answer would be just about anything else. It was a really good cross.
Wow, someone gets a stern talking to.
It was Marich and Kenan.
If you're wondering who the oldest guy on the pitch is, not surprisingly, he's the guy wearing Copa Mundials.
Hogbin wins twice there, and then a shot that's sliced well wide by Eden Hernandez. And those boots, like Deckel himself, timeless.
Hey, they went in my truck today when I went to training. They had a lot of cobwebs on them, but they went in the truck for training. I did not wear them, decided to stick with the running shoes and let someone else serve the balls. I had them just in case.
Hunter Olsen lost out. This is Rivas against Artem Baranovsky. This good physical defending by the 33-year-old Ukrainian. He's got a colorful past as well. It's his 17th professional season, played 8 years in the Ukrainian Premier League, has also had stops in Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and Kazakhstan. In fact, while in Tajikistan, played in the 2017 AFC Cup final. The big Asian club competition. Umeda turning. Marich with a neat infield touch for Olsen. And that's released Shmelev on the right.
Oh, just carried out of bounds. I think Shmelev
couldn't have been by much.
No, I think just barely, if at all. And like, you can understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to just wait for those runs to finish because he wanted to play a deep ball as he did. He's trying to wait for those runs to get a little closer to the goal before he sent it without taking an extra touch. If he would have taken an extra touch, would have drawn another defender into the play.
Yeah, that's a free kick. Maybe a booking, too, for Kotaro Umeda. Just a sharp word from Jamie Crosby. Nearing the end of this first half, LA Force have had little flurries at times when they've created a bunch of opportunities. Haven't taken any yet. Here's Marich. Oh, he got caught standing over the ball. And then he fouls Ivan Hernandez out of frustration. That's a shame because Ezra Brown was making a really good run to his left.
Yeah, really that moment sometimes when you start thinking about what you can do with the ball instead of what you need to do right then. And probably more than anything else, he's wondering when the contact didn't come. He didn't really get any. Found himself in a good position, a lot of space.
Salguero will feed this forward. 1 minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half. Might not be time for much more than this free kick. Salguero, too close to Makruva.
Yeah, probably just one chance down the field and they go to the locker room.
Leon Maric gets wrestled to the ground by Eric Villatoro. And now the Stars will have a free kick. Maric, I think, wanted more than just a foul.
Yeah, he wanted booking. He's thinking he's going.
We haven't had any bookings yet in this first half, have we?
Well, I wondered when Jamie Crosby called the last player in the talk to him. He was saying,
Yeah,
hey,
Umeda.
look, second half when I get my cards out of the locker room, I'm going to give you one. They're in my other shorts.
Line drive free kick. Finds its way to Shmelev. His cross is a good one. Only just now out of the 18. Yunchai sends it back in. Kenan heads it away. A little bit more time than I might have expected. Always risky. Back to Makruva, who has to outrun the long legs of Francis Avos, and that is the end of the first half. Well, Michigan Stars, they have the only goal of the night so far. Garrett Hogben nodding home the really good, inventive bicycle kick cross from Yakov Shmelev. Thoughts on the first half as a whole, Chris?
Well, we talked about how it was just a little slow getting going for a while, and we wondered if a mistake was going to lead to some goals in this game, but it really wasn't. It was a spectacular play on the overhead aerial to set up a great goal. Took a while. LA Force then started to answer a little bit, so it's going to be interesting what happens at halftime. Michigan Stars already made a couple adjustments right after that first goal, but what's LA Force going to do to try to counteract what the Stars have done so far and get themselves on the scoreboard?
We'll see you back here in 15 minutes for the second half. Michigan Stars 1, LA Force 0. You're watching NISA on 11. Welcome back for the second half from Romeo High School. 1-0 Michigan Stars leading LA Force. Nice's match of the week on 11 Sports. Mason Lowry, Chris Black, great to have you here. Michigan Stars, I don't believe, have made any halftime changes. I think the LA Force side has stayed the same as well. What do you want to see, Chris, in this second half?
Well, really, LA Force had a nice run late in the first half where they had extended possession, but a good portion of that may have been the Stars being happy with that. But they need to find a way to break the Stars down a little bit. Instead, it was long-term possession, trying to find something to attack into, compressing Michigan Stars back. By the time they got into that final third, then there was no space to really operate. So maybe that earlier ball, test that back line a little bit, get the Stars to drop the back line off a bit so you can have some space to attack into. On the Stars side, really the question is going to be, are they going to just be happy with this 1-0 lead, sit back a little bit, be patient, and let Marich work up top? That's going to be the question. Or are they going to go after it? So I think early, first 5-10 minutes, we're going to know right away if both teams are going to be the aggressor, if the Stars are just going to let it come to them. Might see our first sub maybe over there for the LA Force. Is there?
Yeah, there are now two warming up, and I think they are coming on.
Go.
Yeah, Alex Vetamanicum is one. He'll go on for Placencia, perhaps. So, Edin Hernandez was the man to make win. Ronaldo Lomeli is on for Clayton Torr. So the Force will make two changes.
Now we get the official sign up there, fourth official, given who's.
Yeah, and I think the number went up was incorrect. They put up 16 coming off. That's Justin Jovel, who is not here. So Ronaldo Lomeli will make just his second appearance for LA Force wearing number 6. So we'll see if that livens things up a little bit. LA Force with an early throw in.
Probably liven things up for Hernandez, who thought he was playing in the second half. He's probably, look, I just redid my ankle tape and it's ready to go. Would change into my comfy clothes in the locker room. Instead, I'm out here in my shorts and jersey.
Kanan brought that forward. Andres Schalbad headed away. Here's Robert Yunchai looking for Ezra Brown. That sliced out for a throw-in right adjacent to the LA Force bench. Ezra Brown, a true Renaissance man. Played in college at Temple as a master's in educational entrepreneurship from Penn. And just released a hip-hop single that I heard a little bit of on Apple Music earlier today.
Well, in that
he
case,
sounds pretty good.
Yeah, in that case, he's working in his entrepreneurship. I'm not sure of the educational side yet, but maybe he's going to teach his other teammates how to become hip-hop artists.
Well, Edwin Rivas Jr. is onside, pulls that back across to the penalty spot. Fine diving stop by Tatenda Makruva. That was the first touch of the day for Alex Vetamanicum. Denied an equalizer early second half.
Much better start from Makruva having to deal with that ball. He did really well starting the game. He was ready to play the second half. Stars really fortunate to weather that quick storm. They got to kind of sort out what happened.
That was the last thing the Stars would have wanted, to concede so early after halftime. And here comes Rivas again. He got on the wrong side of Shmelev. Makruva has to retreat. 2 for Rivas to aim at. This time tries to go for goal himself and puts it through the uprights. And we can hear Stuart Flaherty, one of the Michigan Stars coaching staff, just bellowing from across the way.
Yeah, backs usually got to play a little bit more cautious with somebody new into the game. You don't know what their playing style is going to be, what the adjustments have been at halftime. Get goal side just like Coach Flaherty's talking about over there. Start goal side, stay in the game, in the moment. We know Shmelev is so good going forward, and that's what you do like to see him going forward in that role, but defend first.
A good ball by Robert Yunchai. And a little clip by Olsen of Ivan Hernandez. There's Salguero. Last several years at Cal United Strikers. There will be an incarnation of the Strikers back next year. Vetemanicum with a little touchback for Plasencia. Vetemanicum still coming forward, but a little bit heavy, and Makruva's all over that one. Bowie had to turn back, got fouled. And then has a little push for Plasencia. Settle down, you two. Not enough on that ball out by Makruva. Advantages played. Here's Rivas. So dangerous again, but no back post runners. Just Vetemanicum coming to the near post. Ahmed Shaibu Jr. and Nicholas Nicola both been warming up for the Stars. I imagine we'll see both of them before too long. Nicola, teenage winger who gives a little bit of pace in the attack, and Ahmed Shaibu Jr. since signing has done a really nice job kind of sitting in front of the back four. It's tough to play through him. His legs are so long. Speaking of, that's Francis Avos at 6'5".
Yeah, and I think Avos has really changed the way he's played so far in the second half. He's checking back in more often and letting other players attack forward. I think that just that dynamic movement and play has, I think, really changed how the Stars' back line has to deal with the movement of LA Force. There's the fourth official waving off and shaking off the card that's being asked for.
Good ball through. I tell you what, Vetemanicum, too, has made himself a real nuisance the first 6 minutes of the second half. A runner up there with Avos. That little tweak has given the Stars a tough time so far. Lamelli centers that, might get another crack at it. Right on the edge of the box. Back with Eric Villatoro. Shmelev heads away. Got to dig in and defend again. Lamelli's cross blocked by Yunchai. He played at both San Jose State and Cal Riverside. Ronaldo Lamelli has a brother named Romario. Oh, Rivas climbing high for that one, but flashes it well wide. Referee waving the trainer on. Rivas says he's all right, just needs a second.
Yes, that official's calling the trainer on. And it's kind of smart, too. Officials setting the tone for the game that if you go down, you stay down. The trainer's coming on the field whether you want one or not, which means then the player must exit the field. It's smart anyways in any game, but especially when it's 1-0, where things like that have happened at some point where the gamesmanship starts to go. Sets the tone early. We're not gonna do that. And really, there's no fight for it. Rivas was fine, got off, and now see him coming to the screen shortly, and he can show you how he's been healed when he's waved on to the field. He's probably saying, look, I played 8 minutes. I'm tired. I need a break.
Well, he's had a very active first 8 minutes,
yeah.
too, of the second half, and he has now been waved back on.
Well, yeah, and really, without knowing the way he's played, you start to wonder maybe this was always planned anyways. Get him on. Only leave him the 45. Might not be game fit, or it could just be, hey, we're going to try one thing and it's not working. Let's try something else. I actually think he's the reason they brought Brown onto the side. Schmelo's having to hold back a little bit more. And Brown did some good interchanging with Shelbot in the first half, helping that back line when needed.
Real good header on from Leon Marich. Olsen back for Marich. Bowie's there too. Brown wide to the right. Here he is. Can he dig out a good cross? Blocked away for a throw-in. Nicholas Nicola now is ready to come on. And he will replace Ezra Brown. Unless the board was incorrect.
He's coming off the near side. Yeah, so he will replace Brown, and he just came off the near side, going to walk around. Center official just letting everyone know it's on his whistle.
Maybe Nicholas Nicola can attack this long throw-in from Anthony Bowie. This was how they scored their goal in the first half, remember? Long throw-in becomes a corner. Which Hunter Olsen will serve in. Decent ball. Baranovsky heads that in front. That's cleared off the line. And LA Force can get it away.
Oh, must be handling.
Close again to a second goal for the Stars. Yeah, that came up and hit the Force player in the hand.
That's rough. That is rough. They were on the run.
It was Vetamanicum.
Yeah, and Placencia was on the run on the left side. I think officials just stopped it automatically because possible head injury, I believe.
Yeah, Shmelev.
Official doing the right thing by the book there just to check, just in case. He was down during that last corner kick. Got to appreciate that. Really, 3 Stars selling out, trying to win that ball after it was whipped in.
Hogbin going deep. Nicola was the target of that, and he was tugging at Salguero. That's a very quick restart and a good 10-15 yards up the pitch from where the foul took place.
They like more of the abstract restart of where the ball should be. They felt good about it, so they took it.
Space really more of a concept than anything. Here's Alex Juarez. Saw some time with LA Galaxy 2 in USL Championship about 6 years ago. Find its way to Placencia. Well, they had that sequence, LA Force, late in the first half, kind of like this. They knocked the ball around for a while. The Stars were able to just absorb all of that. Ended up leading to a shot from 25 yards. Another blocked cross. Will stay in for Lomeli. And Yunchai puts that out of play. Right to Makruva from the flank. It's a good quick spot to find Nicola. Bowie racing in. Yeah, he got too much of Placencia. He was down in a heap at the 35-yard line. Here's Kenan. Again, there's just nothing really given to them up ahead. Lots of neutral passes, so often against the Stars, sideways, backwards. That's way back for Kenan to run down. Gomez had to go quickly because all of a sudden Marich was there. That's for Makruva.
That's that attitude to defend. You end up with the back line matched up pretty well. One little mistake, back line, or just a little bit of a bad touch or bad pressure, and suddenly you think Force has a chance, but no, you've got a midfielder tracking back just in case run and disrupts it. The ball's then cleared by Makruva. It's just a team attitude to defend.
Pings the upright. Lomeli. That's Niels Lelouch, young French defender, skipping out of frame in the background. I think I'm right in saying he made his debut for Michigan Stars down at Chattanooga. Came off the bench.
Fisher just a warning for time wasting, it looks like. Giving no more to the bench, no more to the goalkeeper.
It's been, best I can tell, a really well-managed game by Jamie Crosby, the referee. To be honest, I'm a little surprised, well, maybe more than a little surprised, that it wasn't a yellow card for time wasting. Seems a little bit early for that by my watch.
Yeah, and I got to imagine maybe that's why there wasn't a card. But I've always wondered about that anyways. You're sitting there time wasting. As long as the official holds good to the promise for adding time at the end, it doesn't matter unless they're trying to give their team a rest, which I don't think Makruva was trying to give his team a rest.
Rivas. Makruva with the stop.
I think Makruva was just trying to let the clock run there, which at that point, then
well,
all right.
Don't do too much of that.
Yeah, a little rest. Yeah, so a warning, but that's really where I think it gets just got to be carded immediately is when you're trying to give your team a rest by time wasting. Now you can't add that back, right? You can't take away the rest they just gave your own team.
Baranovsky there gifted LA Force a throw-in. Placencia has a go. It's another 3 points.
I think finishing is on the agenda at the next training session.
It won't be too many Fridays from now before Romeo High School here is in use for American football. I can't believe how quickly this year's gone by the way.
That's going fast, and it's nice to see soccer being played here. It's 3/4 of the year between the two teams on it pretty much in the spring, with the girls' high school in Michigan playing in the spring and two teams out in the fall, the boys' high school in the fall, and, of course, spring, summer, fall with the Michigan Stars.
Avos Back for Salguero. Nicola's there with him. It's good team defending by the Stars, as it so often is. That was a good leave for Bowie. Good challenge by the wily veteran Deco Kenan. That's a good dummy. Vetamanicum had that blocked. Umeda went to ground. Here comes Lamelli. He loves to get crosses in from the right side. So many have been blocked since he came on at halftime. So Guerrero lines one up and pulls it wide. I think Ahmed Shaibu Jr. is getting instructions from Enis Djokovic. So he would be Michigan Star's second substitute. Makruva really whipped around on that one, sliced it out of play.
Yeah, really the space only opened up on the left side. Makruva, of course, was facing the way he played. Now a little field advantage going on down there on the throw.
So Guerrero's cross little slip by Hogben.
Yeah, Hogben slipped twice. Nope, and that's why.
And
cramping. That makes sense now. Didn't slip as much as just couldn't push off and fell down.
It's not hot so much as it is muggy and humid.
Yeah, this is not hot.
No.
Spent the last week in Austin.
Yeah, but it's a dry heat down there.
Yeah. Someone did say that to me. But was it humid? It was 102, and we're on turf, so that's about 120. It was hot.
The question is, you're down there with a bunch of English fellows. What did they think of the heat?
They thought it was ridiculous. They wondered why people went outside. Why do people play soccer in this? There was lots of questioning going on. And I said, well, it's because it's this hot until about 10 o'clock tonight. But, yeah, one Irish and former international, actually, and then the three Englishmen. You could get into the whole thing about if they're Englishmen or United Kingdommen or whatever. At that point, I mean, Republic of Ireland still Republic of Ireland, but lots of questions like that from the kids wondering about that. Anyone see Ted Lasso as well, asking about, is it really true it's that many countries in that country? So good times.
Were the kids old enough to be given a dissertation on the difference between the Republic of Ireland
No, they
and
were
Northern
not.
Ireland?
No, they're not. Not. I don't think so. We didn't get into it. But, yeah, no, it was great.
Nothing excites the kids at soccer camp like deep discussions of Irish politics.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, would have been riveting for them. Riveting.
Nicola heads that out for a throw. 67th minute. The LA Force have been the better of the two teams in the second half, especially in those opening few minutes. A couple of really good chances that they were not able to take. Makruva made a good save to deny Alex Vetamanicum a goal with his first touch since coming out at halftime. Another throw for the Force, who seemingly don't have a long throw-in artist like Anthony Bowie or Jacob Campbell when he's healthy for the Stars. Here's a Vos. That shot's deflected. Lamelli. Good delivery. Good hands in traffic by Makruva.
Yeah, and really, with the size that LA Force has up top, it's really disappointing to be able to float a ball in there and have Makruva come to it so easily. You know he's good off his line. You know he's good in there as well. You'd hope there'd be a battle for it.
Bowie. Good ball forward, but Nicola's offside.
Yeah, it might not have been as much, just slightly on the timing.
And now changes will come. Ahmed Shaibu Jr. will come on for Robert Yunchai. Well, just blew right through the fourth official putting the substitute board up. We still wait.
Yeah, trying to get the attention, I think, of the official and make the sub maybe, or I'm not sure. There it is. Waiting for the board.
I think Edwin Rivas is coming off for LA Force as well.
Oh, yeah, so mentally I had him entering late. It said he left early. When he slid to this side, I thought he did a nice job starting the second half like he was fresh.
Aldo Quintanilla on for LA Force. His first touch runs right out of play.
Yeah. It's the yellow lines. I don't know if you were seeing the...
Yeah, there's plenty of different colors out here.
Yeah, and the white lines in the back he's probably thinking of mentally. That's the football, the back of the football bench lines, I believe. You would know more about that than I would. Not that you're on the bench for football, but that you're looking down at a football field where people are standing more often than
Nobody needs that. Here comes Hunter Olson. And Olson, can he maintain possession? He can. He has Nicola ahead of him. He's onside this time. Olson scoops the cross. Marich giving chase. And a free kick. Marich reached out and pulled it. Ivan Hernandez. Still nobody's been booked. Eric Viatoro's cramping up, and
There's all sorts of people yelling, what was that call? What was that call? I mean, this is the best way to talk yourself into getting booked.
mm-hmm.
Is complain about something that has nothing to do with you. Let the captain do the job. And
Viatoro off, and Moja Hale comes in, so that's another forward-thinking player.
yeah, Viator's pretty much limping off the field as well. Cramping up, so it could have been tactical or the fact that, hey, we're 20 minutes away from the end of this game. If you can't go, we got to make a switch now. We can't wait.
The Force will throw everything at this to try and rescue a point or more. A goal down here, thanks to Garrett Hogman scoring in the first half. Here's Quintanilla, who has fresh legs. Shmelev went to ground. Quintanilla has a shot. It's punched away by Tatenda Makruva. I think he saw that late.
Yeah, that may be just a slight deflection. Cut back towards that near post, off his feet quick, punched it wide.
Shmelev tried to clear, couldn't send it very far. Suarez has to go all the way back to Hugo Gomez. Hale's first touches since coming on. Does have one goal this year. Vetamanicum losing out.
Oh,
And
now we got
Umeda
a
is
booking.
tripped up, and that will be the first yellow card of the night.
I mean, fairly lucky only be yellow at that. I mean, the parents from up here, no effort to play the ball. Not really sure what Matt Norris was complaining to the fourth official about. He's asking for a yellow card for something else.
As Umeda hobbles away. I like him a lot in midfield, Chris.
Yeah, and really looking at a snapshot right now, so it'll be interesting as the games move on. But the groups work pretty well. I mean, the attack the LA Force has had been difficult breaking down the midfield. So you got to look at the three guys playing in there. You know, himself, Bowie, Hunter Olson, and say, hey, those guys are staying compact enough. They're not getting split up. They're spinning out in the attack. Different guys are getting forward. All three of them got forward numerous times. So something's working for them so far.
That's a really good tackle by the teenager, Nicholas Nicola. Marich trying to return it to him and could not do so. Back to Gomez, and Marich will press.
Oh.
Back to the Stars for a throw.
I don't know if Placencios was waiting for the contact or what the situation was there, but obviously disappointed with himself.
Bowie lost out. Umeda never shy about snapping into a tackle. Kenon carrying on his way. Hale on the right side wins a throw in. Salguero able to come forward a bit, and then the space closes down. Cleared by Hogbin. Only Marich up for the Stars. Juarez. Shmelev read it well. Up comes Hernandez. Placencia. Quintanilla, that was deflected wide. Came off of an LA Force player last, just a goal kick. They've had a very good second half, LA Force. Will they go home with nothing to show for it? Suarez came for that. Can Makruva keep this in? Yeah, he did.
That's so quick off his line.
Shmelev now has gone down. To the frustration of LA Force, who wanted to go quickly with that throw-in, I think. Off we go again. And Hale just blocked off it by Artem Baranovsky. Marich, well, he's got 3 in support. Well, he skips away from Hernandez despite Hernandez's best efforts to commit a professional foul. And now the booking will come for Hernandez. Not sure I've ever seen somebody try so hard to commit that professional foul. They're claiming an elbow from Marich. I don't think anybody saw it, at least.
And there's a red.
Oh, and there's a red.
Talked himself to a red. Well, and really,
yellow for the foul, a second yellow for dissent.
And now a
yellow's been given to somebody else.
I believe to
Is that
keeper.
Gomez?
Yeah, I believe it, and I don't blame him. I mean, you know, the difficult thing is if you are trying to hold a guy back, extended like he did to Marich, what do you expect Marich to do when he finally gets free?
Well, I don't think. Well, that must have been the first yellow to Gomez. And now the referee will come over to Kenny Nunez, the assistant referee.
And so, yes, Marich. I mean, yeah, if you want to give Marich a yellow card as well. But the problem I have with it is in a game, a player is doing as much as he did to stop Marich. I think first time you just yell out yellow. Second time you yell out red. and maybe Marich doesn't go for the next guy there, because it basically baited him into it. And that's a professional foul. I get it, but he got free. You can't grab him again like that. That's two separate fouls. I'd go yellow, red, and as long as Marich knows the red's coming, I think it's done. And Marich doesn't try to get the next guy. And, of course, take this from a guy who's never refereed at this level and saying it.
Well, wait a minute. Who's been sent off here? Was it Kenan, the captain?
Or he may just be talking to the fourth official. I mean, if someone bumped the official, then obviously at that point you touch the official, you're gone.
Kenan is making the case that there was a stamp. Well, the Stars want to take the free kick. The referee is still sorting it out with his AR on the near side.
Yeah, it's Kenan.
Kenan is off.
Yeah, Kenan's off. So it's a hard red to Kenan. So I don't know if he must have either – I missed it. I didn't see. There's too many people in the way for me to catch what happened. But, I mean, at that point, if it's a hard red like that, it's going to have to be either he touched the official, head, neck, or a hand or elbow to the head, neck, or face of an opponent. That's the only way he gets a red card there, in my opinion, from the scenario that we saw right there.
So I believe what we have then is Ivan Hernandez with a yellow card for the foul. Hugo Gomez, the goalkeeper, has been booked, and Dekel Kenan, the captain, has been sent off. Olsen's free kick after all that headed away. He will head it back on. Well, and here they come. Chance on the counterattack for LA Force, who are now a man light. Here's Alex Vedemanicum on the left. He's got two to aim at in the middle, sent that to the back post. Nobody home, and Lamelli couldn't keep it in. Gosh, shades of that bizarre midsummer match with Maryland Bobcats last year. Maryland Bobcats had two players sent off in the same sequence.
Yeah, it's a meltdown late.
Well, that was in the first half, and it ended up 10-9.
Oh, that's right.
Anthony Bowie got sent off for a really silly challenge on Felix Anand, the Maryland goalkeeper.
And that was a late one, wasn't it?
And now another yellow card. I believe this is to is that Shalbot for time wasting?
Again, Marich smartly played that safely. He doesn't want to get into a
no.
any kind of a scrape anywhere soon. I think if Stars had a deeper bench even today, they might have put another forward in to run out the last game and just pressure and run.
Any challenge of any kind, especially a hard challenge, is going to be gasoline on the fire. Ahmed Shaivo comes up holding his collarbone. Eight minutes left plus stoppage time. Placencia couldn't find Vedemanicum. Is that Dekel Kenan just hanging out next to the blue trash bin at the top of your screen?
He's left the field of play. I think they'll probably get away with that for a while unless he starts yelling things. Imagine that the referees just let it go unless he starts yelling anything, and then they'll remove him completely, send him to the locker room.
So Aguero, but nobody really up there.
Yep, and he's actually just made the – it's off camera, but he's actually made them move back further, and he's actually off in the grass now. Someone went over and told him, yeah, you got to leave farther.
Very slowly backing up towards the locker room. Makruva sees that behind.
I've always waited for someone to go over to the concession stand and say, hey, can you spot me? My money's in the locker room. Can I get a, give me a hot dog?
Skittles and a water. Martin Baranovsky up in the direction of Anthony Bowie. Nikola shanked that out of play. Interesting, Nicholas Nikola, who came on earlier in the half, has been replaced himself by Prosper Figby.
You wonder if that's going to be some sort of formation shift or personnel shift.
Figby, somebody else that can break up play.
Well, he's more of a central player, so he's probably going to set in a little bit. Yeah, it's got to be
Center
a foul.
back or midfielder, indeed. Free kick, dangerous area for LA Force. Little clumsy from the Stars there.
Number 5, Prosper Figby checks in for the Michigan Stars. Number 17, Nicholas Nikola.
Somebody for the Stars just got booked. It's either Baranovsky for the foul or Yakov Shmelev for talking after the fact. So Aldo Quintanilla over the free kick. Salguero is in the vicinity as well.
Quintanilla, I mean, that's got in swing to the far post written all over it by his stance, if he's the one on it.
Up steps Quintanilla. Good diving stop by Makruva.
Well, he can put a bend on that ball. To
Sure
go near
can.
post off of that.
That is a very, very good delivery.
So the downside of going near post on an in swing like that is you're taking a lot of pace off the ball, and you're also keeping it in front of the goalkeeper a little bit longer. So you're helping Makruva get to it. That being said, you're showing far post coming near post. If Makruva takes a step the wrong way, he's in trouble. He's done in no man's land.
Corner's long.
Oh, and that looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, Hunter Olsen's racing after this. Gomez is way off his line. Just touches that out for a throw-in and then
That's a booking.
hurriedly retreats back to his goal mouth.
Ooh, surprised that. Unless he's going to hold on to booking. I mean, he went to the pocket. I mean, for kicking that ball away. But to be fair, then, I think the referee waved off the time wasting when LA Force was complaining about the time wasting. He just waved him off. It might have been that's what you get. You're the ones that kick the ball away.
Olsen. Cross is handled by Gomez. Hale's being held. Well, apparently not. Michigan Stars throw it. Find the ball was Stuart Flaherty's instruction to his players.
Yeah, they got caught completing a pass, wasting more time than anything. I think it's what he said in there, the run, which that's fair enough.
Bowie finds this.
Oh, what a clipped little ball
That's
right there.
terrific to Hunter Olsen. It was backwards rather than forward. Shambu Jr.'s ball not especially well hit.
LA with just way too many numbers back. They've got to defend as they do, but it's taking a long time to get numbers forward.
Quintanilla step over, down the line against Shmelev. Chance to bring it back, and it's 1-1! It's the new man, Francis Avos, on his debut, and a man down. LA Force have it at 1-1. Aldo Quintanilla gets all the credit in the world there for creating the space against Shmelev, playing the perfect ball along the deck. Back to Avos.
I mean, think about it. Most of the stuff generated in that final third has been on the left side here for LA Force. And they're able to do it again. And all those step overs creating some time to get numbers in, to whip the ball in. Negative diagonal just inside the 6. Such a dangerous place to have to defend. No time for Makruva to adjust to a shot. So close, just one little redirect. It's in.
They want to get numbers forward now, the Force. It's a poor header. Makruva comes together with Vedemanicum.
Yeah, all good around there from both guys going for the ball. I think both reacted really well too, just right back up. I think Makruva gave him a little pat. Nothing to complain about.
Well, here's Hunter Olsen, and he's got Marich to his left. Finds him, but Leon Marich leaning back puts it over the top.
Marich really just opened himself up before striking that. So that extended motion, just driving that ball up into the air.
5 minutes of extra time.
5 minutes of extra time here at the end. Michigan Stars throw in right as the clock strikes 90. That's Figby with the ball at his feet. Right back to him. Shaibu. Shmelev. 4 ahead of him for the Stars, trying to cut in field. That touch was heavy. And here comes LA Force now. Placencia. Vedemanicum to his right. Hails the option to get on the end of a cross. Vedemanicum stood up by Andres Chalbot.
Looking for Olsen probably just in behind the far side, just taking too many touches to get it there.
Figby finds Olsen now. Marich will make a run to the back post. Ball from Olsen, couldn't find him.
Not a bad idea, though, curling the ball in swing, coming into the running Marich. LA Force finally starting to open up, get a little bit more direct into space, but numbers just not getting forward fast enough.
Now Quintanilla created the equalizer for Francis Avos. He'll cut in, have a shot, can't get nearly enough swerve on it.
He's got that interesting past as a Rio Grande player, loaned up to Houston Dynamo. Dynamo and Rio Grande had that great partnership for a long time, moving players back and forth, and also coaches Ryan Coulter, the goalkeeper, as well as goalkeeper coach down there, also went to Dynamo.
Here's Hunter Olsen. All kinds of time and space for the cross. Can he get this right? Cuts it back. Marich is there too. Marich! Oh, my! Top corner. What a finish in stoppage time to maybe, just maybe, win it for the Stars. And Leon Marich wisely, he was going to take his shirt off in celebration, thought better of it. Hugo Gomez is furious, was over yelling at the assistant referee. He's already on a yellow card. They don't have a substitute keeper. The referee is doing everything that he can. He's going to send him off. And that's just ridiculous from Hugo Gomez. I understand the frustration. But now he's just swiped at the referee, too. We've been watching the replay this time. You could see the tail end of that from Leon Marich. Gomez is off. They do, I believe, have one substitute left. Edward Salazar, I think, should be available. Somebody will have to play in goal for LA Force these last couple of minutes. Well, what a wild finish to this match. Avos thinks maybe he's rescued a point for LA Force, but great work from Hunter Olsen and the terrific finish from Marich to put that in the top corner. Ivan Hernandez, who we thought had been sent off earlier, will take over in goal.
Well, so then you're looking at the game result here. You might have just given up now. Now you got 0 points from one. You went from 1 to 0 points. And also you gave the team in front of you from 1 to 3. That happens. But what did you do? It's even worse. Now you're missing players going forward. And depending what happens, if the league looks at what he did swiping at the official after a red card, that could be something else on top. I mean, now it's just dominoes down. That's why it's so important to stay in that moment, manage the highs, manage the lows. He may be right about what he's arguing about, but it doesn't matter. Really put themselves in a bigger hole going beyond this, where Stars now, not only are they looking at their good position, too, if things carry, 3 points, but now they got the team right beneath them hurting for the next couple games.
I don't know if our cameras caught any of that exchange between Gomez and the assistant referee and then the referee, Jamie Crosby. I don't mean to say that he did something as unseemly as throwing a punch at the referee, but he did. It looked like he was maybe trying to knock the cards out of his hand or something. I don't know if you also saw that.
Yeah,
that was what I picked up on.
Which every player dreams of taking the card and showing it to the referee, but it doesn't end up well unless it's a testimonial match. Then that usually gets a good laugh and a clap from the crowd, and maybe the referee signs it for him.
Here they come again, 3-on-1. That's good hands from the makeshift goalkeeper, Ivan Hernandez. Leon Marich wanted that to be played his way. Well, you dream of showing cards to the referee. You also dream of maybe scoring on a goalkeeper who isn't a goalkeeper, and the Stars won't have a chance to do that. A frankly bonkers finish to this match. Garrett Hogman scoring in the first half. Header off across from Yakov Shmelev. Francis Avos hopefully only wants to shake hands with the referee. There's a lot of frustration. The Force are going to surround the referee. Now this is off screen to our left. Yeah. Well, if they're not careful, the referee would be well within his rights to book a player or players after the match is concluded. Aldo Quintanilla is now following them. That's not a really good scene for a team that's already had 2 players sent off this evening.
Yeah, no, the Rivas, I think, was trying to hold people back. So on the other side of it, though, the celebration right there, and Marich just probably said, yeah, I know, it was really good, wasn't it?
It certainly was. The goal from Hogman in the first half held up for a while. LA Force had a really bright start to the second half. They created several really good opportunities. They finally get an equalizer from Francis Avos in the 88th minute.